Until Dawn Game Review. Hello beautiful people. In this video, we will talk about Until Dawn Game Review. Until Dawn is much better than you may be expecting. The teen horror title, which was initially intended as a PlayStation Move exclusive, has not exactly enjoyed the smoothest path to market, but Sony saw enough potential in the project to keep it alive for this long, and Supermassive Games has delivered. This schlocky spook fest may not appeal to everyone, but fans of The Walking Dead and Heavy Rain will feel at home and may even find themselves shocked by how successfully it achieves its aims. You play as a band of boorish adolescents gathering at a hilltop lodge in chilly British Columbia. The get-together marks the anniversary of a tragedy that occurred 12 months prior, and needless to say, there are more catastrophes around the corner. The story's been written by Hollywood hotshots Larry Fessenden and Reznick, and it does show. The plot remains silly from start to finish, but it never takes its tongue out of the side of its cheek, and while it draws from movie tropes quite liberally, it subverts them just enough to eschew pure parody. Not that this is immediately obvious, as the escapade opens like any other slasher. The ensemble of pert posteriors and inflated egos that comprise the cast is intentionally obnoxious, and you'll call for their comeuppance right from the word go. But while we wouldn't go as far as to say that the characters become likable, there's a decent amount of development that goes on here, an advantage of the developer's decision to work with established writers rather than keep the scripting in-house. The writing is surprisingly good, in a cringe-worthy kind of way. The title throws red herrings out at every opportunity, and this helped to keep proceedings interesting throughout the campaign's 8 or so hour running time. More importantly, the twists are multi-layered and, unlike a Quantic Dream game, aren't subject to the same enormous leaps of logic. It's still ridiculous at points, but there's a method in its madness that offers a much more complex tale than you may be anticipating. Considering the branching paths, this is something of an achievement. Of course, cause and effect is at the very core of the game and are a significant selling point. With the gameplay very much built from Telltale's blueprints, it also happens to be its most exciting aspect. But while you won't be entirely adapting the story, this is smartly implemented. A seemingly minor decision resulting in a cut on a protagonist's head can come back to haunt you hours later, while the mortality of the main characters is a genuine concern. Our initial playthrough ended with a single survivor, and after 2 complete runs we are still not entirely sure how to keep everyone alive. By the way, we are gathering gamers and gaming lovers like you in our YouTube channel RAYAROZEN, so it would be nice if you join our gaming community by subscribing our YouTube channel. We upload a cool game stuff like gaming reviews, different gameplays, top 10 games compilations etc. Titles like Beyond, 2 souls cheated in this department, but Supermassive Games has worked hard to make sure that you feel some impact from your actions, and these aren't always obvious right away. Our second playthrough unearthed entire cutscenes, dialogue decisions, and even complete gameplay sequences that we weren't even aware existed on our first attempt. While you can see the seams if you search for them, there's more consequence here than in most comparable games. It's on par with Heavy Rain, at least. Unfortunately, while it shares positives with the legendary PlayStation 3 adventure, it also possesses some negative attributes. The acting, provided by household names like Hayden Panettiere and Rami Malek, is good. Still, the developers opted to shoot the performances individually, while the body capture was implemented after the fact. Consequentially, the facial animations don't always pair properly, leading to some L.A. Noire-esque uncanny valley. Moreover, you never quite get that camaraderie between the stars that was so impressive in The Last of Us. It's still a handsome-looking game, though, and we're not just talking about the cheerleader physiques and bulging biceps. Built using Guerrilla Games and utilized Killzone Shadowfall technology, the title has atmosphere in spades as you traverse sub-zero vistas and grungy underground caves. The performance isn't perfect, framerate judders are prevalent throughout, but given the generally glacial gameplay style, these aren't a significant problem. The same can be said for the character movement, which can be woolly and imprecise in places. The most impressive aspect is how much mileage the developer gets from its fixed camera angles. Some tremendous depth of field effects bring objects in both the foreground and background into focus, and the developer can lead your eye without taking control. It is essential, particularly regarding the significant jump scares, as you'll frequently find yourself walking into these unwittingly. The game will even capture short clips of these moments, cheap shots, using the PlayStation camera if you wanted to. Of course, it is worth stressing that this is not a Silent Hills-esque psychological experience, although the inclusion of a shrink played by Peter Stormare does adapt the experience subtly depending on your fears. But while it doesn't ever get under your skin, the string-driven score and moody lighting help to create an unsettling atmosphere, which will have you on edge enough to ensure that the aforementioned jump scares do their job. Many of these are cheaper than those old YouTube shock videos, so brace yourself because they come thick and fast. These aren't as successful the second time, but the game has decent replay value. In addition to wanting to see how the story splits, you'll collect many clues and items along the way, each of which is fully modeled and has a purpose in the overarching plot. Totems even give you a glimpse into the future so that you can be on your guard, and collecting all of these unlocks an additional cutscene that offers a little more insight into the narrative. The handful of making-of videos is merely the icing on the cake. You can use motion controls or the analog stick when investigating the above-mentioned collectibles. The DualShock 4 is used to its fullest potential here, with the touchpad employed to turn pages and the gyroscope offered as an optional touch control. We preferred the gestures over the more traditional alternative. Still, neither solution is foolproof, and it maybe feels like the studio should have picked one or the other and polished it up a bit more rather than attempting to accommodate both styles at once. Until Dawn is a pleasant surprise, something that fans of interactive stories will appreciate. As a schlocky horror, it's a success, but its fiction goes beyond simple slasher, even if it remains intentionally silly throughout. The sometimes sloppy controls will irritate, while the performance capture could have been better. Still, neither of these issues is nightmarish enough to pull you out of the popcorn flick plot, which is buoyed by the impressive, if not gigantically impactful, butterfly effect. A ridiculous romp was promised, then, and this one will keep you occupied all night long. So, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do like our video, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.